What it do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder, checking back in with another book review that you need to add to your collection and you must read. This book is by Isabel Wilkerson and it's called Caste. What is a caste? We always hear about the caste systems that exist around the world, primarily one that exists in India. This system breaks down the caste system that we have and we still currently are dealing with in America. Let's break down the caste system. A caste system is a set of social constructs in order that we oblige by. In America, white people are at the top and Black Americans are at the bottom. I'm going to say this again. This system breaks down how we honestly live in the caste. She gave some ways the castes have been implemented. The strongest case being Jim Crow and Benham slavery in the South. She references how a lot of South activities that happen to Blacks in the South still have an effect on us to this day. One point that she brought up that I never thought about is that how we're transitioning our mind to dehumanize Black Americans. For example, when Blacks are victimized actively by police, law enforcement, or some sort of calling in inadequate ways, we're used to dealing with that as Black Americans. The dominant white society, on average, does not have the sympathy nor the wherewithal to know, oh wow, this is a huge problem. And even though we may have some that acknowledge the issue, the caste system and the benefits that come from it will not allow the majority of them to want to handle this issue. It is a systematic and ideology mindset that we actively struggle with in this country currently. The second way she brought it up to me that was very eye-opening was she spoke about the Dalits in India. The Dalits in India are the lowest class. They are talked to who are darker skinned Indians in a way that most Black Americans experience on average. They usually go to more impoverished schools. They usually do more subsidiary jobs. They usually are doing less well economically, and they also do not have a strong foothold politically. Miss Wilkinson broke down why this stronghold was such a deal breaker when discussing activities. She mentions how most of the time she flies in first class throughout America and how on average most flight attendants assume that she's sitting in the wrong seat. She references how this is an ideological bias that most people do not even recognize, that she notices that on average, she gets questioned almost 70% compared to her work colleagues from different races or ethnicities. That was truly an eye-opening thing to me. The third thing that she brought up to me was that how the symbols of the caste system are still around to this day. So in Georgia right now, they still have Stone Mountain, Georgia, where you see the Confederate soldiers. You still see the Confederate flags, and you still see that anti-Black rhetoric being spewed upon to this day. All of those facts are undeniable. That if you're going to eliminate a caste system or a structured ideology, you must eliminate all of it. No spirit can fester. And if it festers around, it hasn't been broken. She mentions how this ideology is still prevalent and still actively in the political game, in the social structures in certain part of the South. And I can even use the Roe v. Wade example on how a majority of the white judges are speaking on issues concerning women, which no man should ever be discussing. I never really thought about how deep intrinsically it's involved and how much detail she breaks it down. But Ms. Wilkerson does a phenomenal job of breaking it down. And she actually even speaks to an Indian man who is currently in a subordinate caste who lives in Britain as we speak. He mentions how he still has the psychological scars when he comes to his home country and deals with those of the higher caste system. And he mentions how even as a PhD, a fluent man in an entirely different country, he still has the ideological struggles that he still has to underline and deal with. The one question I would have about this book is that I wish they used more current world examples, but I loved her civil rights part. I love how she used the 1800s. I love pretty much everything that your sister wrote, man. 5 out of 5 star read. Incredible, incredible historical document. Well researched, over 10 years of research she's done. Very polished, very detail oriented. I would definitely say I would add this to my list. #1 New York Times bestseller. And if you ever want to know a different side of America that we don't talk about or we don't label correctly, we do have a caste system. We do. I mean, if you look at the historical events that I even mentioned and reference, you can see it visually. We don't like to talk about it because it is one of those underlying issues that we're fixing. But she put a name to it. She had research and documentation to back it up. I would really, truly recommend that everybody read it so they can visually see it for themselves. But excellent book by this sister. Again, it's your boy King Crowder checking out. Thank you for subscribing and liking the channel. I'm going to keep giving you this detailed information so you can definitely keep learning and expanding your mind. I think it's important. Peace.